You're standing at the pier at 7:30 in the morning. You've been awake for 30 hours straight. Your seabag weighs more than your little sister, and you're staring up at what looks like a floating city made of steel. This is the USS Gerald R. Ford, a $13 billion aircraft carrier, home to 5,000 sailors, and for the next several years, this is your life. But here's what nobody tells you about those first 48 hours. It's not the size that breaks you. It's not even the noise. It's the complete sensory assault that hits you the moment you step aboard. A wall of jet fuel, salt air, and oil that you'll taste for days. It's the realization that there's no quiet corner anywhere on this ship. And it's the fact that once you walk up that gangway, leaving isn't an option. Let me show you what really happens when a brand new sailor reports to an aircraft carrier for the first time. Chapter 1. The Ritual. You walk up the gangway with your orders in one hand, seabag over your shoulder. Your sponsor told you what to do, but your brain is so fried from travel that you're running on muscle memory and adrenaline. You stop at the top, salute the national ensign, turn, salute the officer of the deck, request permission to come aboard. This isn't just tradition. This is the moment you officially become part of the crew. The moment you stop being a person and start being a sailor on a warship. The officer of the deck returns your salute. Permission granted, welcome aboard. And just like that, you're in. The first thing that hits you isn't visual, it's physical. There's a constant low-frequency hum vibrating through the deck. You feel it in your chest, in your teeth. It never stops. Even when the ship is tied to the pier, the generators run 24/7. The ventilation systems, the machinery, this ship doesn't sleep. The second thing is the smell. Jet fuel mixed with hydraulic fluid, salt water and metal, cleaning chemicals, and something you can't quite identify but will later learn is just ship smell. It gets into your clothes, your hair, your skin. You'll smell it for weeks. Chapter 2. The Maze. Your sponsor, a second-class petty officer who's been on the ship for 2 years, leads you into the hangar bay. It's massive. Aircraft parked everywhere. Maintenance crews working. The ceiling is 3 stories high, but somehow it still feels cramped. Stay close, he says. People get lost their first week. He's not joking. And aircraft carriers are designed for function, not navigation. Passageways twist and turn. Ladders go up and down at random intervals. Compartment numbers follow a system that makes sense once you learn it. But right now it looks like someone just slapped numbers on walls for fun. You follow him through a hatch, down a ladder, through another passageway, left, right, down another ladder. The overhead gets lower, the passageways get narrower. You pass sailors carrying equipment, squeezing past each other in spaces barely wide enough for one person. The 1MC, the ship's public address system, crackles to life. Now, reveille, all hands heave out and trice up. The smoking lamp is lit in all authorized spaces. Your sponsor doesn't even react. You'll learn to tune it out too, eventually. Chapter 3. Paperwork and Reality. The admin office is in the hangar bay. You turn over your service record, update your emergency contact information, life insurance, direct deposit. They hand you a meal card, a berthing assignment, and a division assignment. You're in deck department, the yeoman says. Berthing 3-140-0-L. Your sponsor will show you. You have no idea what any of that means. Your sponsor does. Come on, let's get you to your rack. You head deeper into the ship. More ladders, more passageways. The air gets warmer. The ventilation fans are loud, but they're not keeping up with the heat from the machinery spaces below. You arrive at a hatch with 3-140-0-L stenciled above it. Your sponsor opens it. The smell hits you first. 60 sailors living in one compartment. Detergent, sweat, machinery. The air is thick. Racks are stacked 3 high, each one barely wider than your shoulders. There's a small locker at the foot of each rack and storage underneath. That's it. That's your personal space for the next several years. Top rack, starboard side, your sponsor says, pointing. Stow your seabag. We've got more check-ins to do. You climb up. The rack has a thin mattress, a pillow, and a curtain for privacy. You can't sit up without hitting your head on the overhead. You can barely roll over. This is home now. Chapter 4. The First Night. By the time you finish all your check-ins, it's past 9 p.m. You've been awake for 38 hours, you're exhausted. You climb into your rack, pull the curtain, and close your eyes. The ventilation fan is loud. Someone 3 racks over is snoring. The deck vibrates constantly. Footsteps echo through the compartment as sailors come and go on different watch schedules. You think you'll never fall asleep. You're wrong. Exhaustion wins. But here's what nobody tells you. Sleeping on a carrier is a learned skill. The noise never stops. The movement never stops. Sailors walk past your rack at all hours. The 1MC makes announcements. Drills happen. You learn to sleep through it, or you don't sleep at all. Chapter 5. Day 1. You wake up to someone shaking your rack. Muster in 5 minutes. Don't be late. You have no idea what time it is. You have no idea where muster is. You follow the other sailors from your berthing and hope you're going to the right place. Muster is in the hangar bay. Your division, about 40 sailors, stands in formation. The leading petty officer calls roll, announces the plan of the day, assigns cleaning stations and work details. New guy, he says, looking at you. You're with Petty Officer Martinez today. He'll show you around and start your check-in process. Martinez is a third-class petty officer. He's been on the ship for 18 months. He knows the layout, he knows the routine, and his job today is to make sure you don't get lost or killed. First rule, he says, don't go anywhere without permission. Second rule, if you don't know, ask. Third rule, stay out of the way. You spend the morning getting safety briefs, fire and flooding, man overboard, general quarters, where to muster during different alarms, how to read the ship's emergency signals. It's information overload. You're taking notes, but you know you won't remember half of it. Chapter 6. The Flight Deck. After lunch, Martinez takes you topside. You need to see the flight deck, he says. Even if you're not an aviation rate, you need to understand what happens up there. You climb ladder after ladder. The air gets cooler. You can hear the wind. Martinez hands you a cranial helmet with built-in hearing protection, goggles, and a float coat. Put these on. Don't take them off. And stay behind me. You step through the hatch onto the flight deck. The wind hits you first, then the noise. Jets are taxiing. Crews in color-coded jerseys are moving with precision. Yellow shirts directing aircraft, purple shirts fueling, red shirts handling ordnance. It's controlled chaos. Martinez points to the deck. See those lines, stay inside them. Step outside and you could walk into a jet intake or get blown overboard by jet blast. You nod. You don't trust yourself to speak. A jet launches from the catapult. The noise is so loud you feel it in your chest even through the hearing protection. The aircraft goes from 0 to 165 miles per hour in 2 seconds. This is what an aircraft carrier does. This is the mission. And every single sailor on this ship, whether they work on the flight deck or in the galley or in engineering, exists to support this. Chapter 7. The Watch. That evening, you start your qualification process. Martinez takes you to your first watch station, a security rover position. Your job is to walk a designated route, check spaces, and report anything unusual. You won't stand watch alone for weeks, Martinez says, but you need to start learning now. You shadow him for 4 hours, walking passageways, checking hatches, learning the layout. He quizzes you on compartment numbers, emergency procedures, chain of command. By the end of the watch, your feet hurt, your brain hurts, you're exhausted again, but you're starting to understand the rhythm. The ship operates 24/7. Watches rotate every 4 to 6 hours. Maintenance happens around the clock. Drills happen without warning. There are no weekends, no days off. The mission doesn't stop. Chapter 8. The Mess Decks. The mess decks become your anchor. It's the one place that feels almost normal. Cafeteria-style lines, hot food, tables full of sailors from every department. You sit with other new sailors from your division. Everyone is exhausted. Everyone is overwhelmed. But there's a strange comfort in knowing you're not alone. The food is better than you expected. Not great, but better than boot camp. And there's a lot of it. The ship serves 14,000 meals a day. The galley never closes. You eat. You listen to the conversations around you. Sailors talking about their rates, their deployments, their families back home. This is your community now. These people, strangers 48 hours ago, are your shipmates, your crew, and over the next months and years they'll become closer than family. Chapter 9. Hour 48. By the end of your second day, you can navigate from your berthing to the mess decks without getting lost. You know where your work center is. You know your chain of command. You've started your qualification process. You're still exhausted, still overwhelmed, still homesick. But something has shifted. The constant noise is starting to fade into background. The cramped rack feels a little more like yours. The faces around you are starting to become familiar. You climb into your rack that second night, and for the first time, you fall asleep quickly. The ventilation fan doesn't bother you. The footsteps don't wake you. You're adapt because here's the truth about those first 48 hours on an aircraft carrier. They're designed to break you down and build you back up, to strip away your civilian identity and forge you into something new. A sailor, a crew member, part of a team operating one of the most complex machines ever built. The shock wears off, the chaos becomes routine, and what felt impossible on day 1 becomes normal by day 30. Those first 48 hours are brutal, disorienting, exhausting. But they're also the beginning of something bigger than yourself. A mission, a purpose, a brotherhood. And when you look back years later, you'll realize those 48 hours weren't the hardest part. They were just the beginning. We are committed to releasing 3 videos a week. Like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more. AnchorWatch.